No, they didn't give me a script. They just said, hey, you're a white guy who thinks he's a black guy, go. You know, and I was like, all right, you're a cold that thinks he's smallpox, go. I don't know. Anyway, so, no, there was a script. I remember there being some kind of script. Yeah, there was some kind of script. I thought it was good. And, you know, it was based on a play that Angus wrote, which, you know, Angus, you know, I'll be honest with you, I have a little bit of a sour grape. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a sour grape because Angus, I contacted Angus to write some scripts for me. And he said I don't do that kind of thing. And he just sort of turned me down cold.
Oh, there was no reading of the script. This same young man, oh, what was his name? Oh, it has something to do with cows.
Angus?
Angus, that's it. Well, this young man named Angus said, let's all go to the cafeteria. And because at the time I was out of work and I, you know, could certainly use a free lunch, I went to the cafeteria, and over on the other side, these adorable little women with hair nets on their hair and little crisp uniforms were handing you food, and that was the script. That was it. There was no reading of the script. We just walked through, heard what they said, and then they rolled the camera and we sent it back.
Now, when you wrote it, was it hard for you to write the story, or did it just flow? Did it just come out of you naturally?
Well, I don't put a lot of thought in the things that I write. I sort of just let my mind just go.
Writing's total crap. Never really worked, ever. It's just not real enough. And I only knew that. I didn't know that at the time. I know it now because of making adult films. Because that's real writing. I mean, that's real life. It's like, ding dong, who's there? Hi, it's me, your friend. Oh, hi, how are you? Come on in, you know, you look hot, so do you. Let's get it on. Excellent, let's do it. That's real writing. You know, good evening, good to see you, how are you today, everything's good today. That's not real writing. And, you know, bless Mike Huey for pulling that off. Little British bastard.
I couldn't understand really what was this thing. But Philip arranged for me to meet with the writer, Agnes McLaughlin, and then it became more and more clear to me. I could see deeper issues, larger themes. That is why I agreed, aside from, you know, having the hearts for film. This archetypal exploration of slave culture in the American South, of going from the black slavery to the white wage slavery. I enjoy this kind of dialectical semantics.
Well, I'll be frank. I mean, I was pretty fucking pissed off, man. I mean, one fucking word. It's not even a line. What the is that shit? I mean, that's up. No one could see me. No one knew I was there. No one gave a shit. I mean, that's why I got into some that stuff later, you know. It was, you know, no one cared about me. One line, you know, when I went on to do like the sequels, we had like, you know, I had like lines and stuff, like all kinds of lines. You know, yeah, you know, doing lines, saying lines, it was, you know, whatever. It had everything. I was like, I was the King Jimmy. I think it's pretty obvious to anyone who's seen it that my talents were completely overlooked. I mean, it's like they thought I was the garbage pail kid or some shit. You know, it's like when you think about who was the star, you know, who was kind of the focus of the show, you know, like who had the mystery, like the mojo and the enigma. Jimmy Nigma, you know what I'm saying? It's like it was just did the dance, and you know, everyone wanted to see, everyone who I talked to who saw the movie wanted to see more of that, you know, and it was just like one line. I mean, not even a line, it was just a word. That's not a what the fuck is that? It's not a vine. I mean, just throw a dog a bone, you know what I'm saying? A couple bones. Take those bones and put them together and make a sentence, and then let me speak that sentence, and I didn't want nuts.
What was the question?
I was wondering if you thought that the play was, or the movie was written well.
Was written well. I believe I answered no. Did I answer no? Because I don't think it was. If I answered yes, I was lying.
I felt like it seemed so natural that it almost wasn't like writing at all. It was almost like Angus had just reached into himself and just pulled out what would naturally happen in those moments. And I don't know how he did it. I mean, I've never written anything, so I don't know what kind of process you have to go through to do that, but I thought it was kind of a miracle the way he was able to be so in touch with that type of person and you know, write roles for women and for men, and I felt like that he really touched something that was universal. Now, I understand you actually had a cameo in the movie where you actually were on film. Do you remember being filmed for the movie?
Yes, I have had experience acting. So they asked me to do one of the dramatic moments in the film. And so I can be seen going through the line, and when you see her say, "Alligator," that's me wearing a shirt with an alligator on it. That was my role.
You did a very good job.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to know what people's favorite part of the film was.
Well, I've never actually seen all of it. I've seen my bits, of course, but I usually just sort of fast forward to the rest of it because, I mean, you know, I like when Mr. Bowen opens the door and lets those two, what were they, sort of pest control men or something, I don't know, sanitation workers. He lets them in and he says, "Everything's good today." I mean, that's a lovely line, I think, and I think it really set off the film. As I told Phil, I would like to have seen Mr. Bowen that morning, getting out of bed, preparing his cereal.
I'm torn between my tirade over the harnett situation, you know, the woman who never seemed to want to wear one, and I got to, you know, to really sort of sound off about that issue and how she irked me to my very soul. I liked that in particular. And then I think the other part was where I gave, what did you say, Doris, a rounding smack across the face. That was very fulfilling.
I like the part when the girl picked up the stewed tomato and threw it on Mary Lucy Bivens' chest. I like that part. She was like flatulator or fornicator or masturbator or alligator or something, and she threw the stewed tomato on Mary Lucy Bivens. Mary Lucy Bivens, by the way, a wacko.
I really do like that part where I get to break my fingernail, you know, and say, "This sticky stuff never stays stuck." I still like saying it. I sometimes say it just, and people don't know what I'm talking about. I was trying to glue something the other day and it wouldn't stay together, and I said it, and people just wondered why I said it, and well, I thought it was kind of funny. And so it just always makes me think of what a fun time we had whenever I say that. And
Let me try to think. A favorite line. I like right near the beginning where she says, "Oh, I think I cut myself." I like that.
I kind of like that thing at the end when that little boy comes in and just says, "Spectator." Yeah, I kind of like that part.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Every part I was in. Basically, I like those parts. The bit where Candy and I were supposed to be having sex in the storeroom, I thought that was great. Although, if Phil had any balls, he'd have panned that camera in there and shown me and Candy going at it.
Then titles. This I loved. I loved that crazy boy who was talking there. I couldn't understand him, but I want to know him.
and it was awesome. I mean, start to finish. I mean, from, you know, where like the spy gets into the building, man, and then like the whole thing with the cow, and then the end when it's like, I don't know, man, with all those trailers, those tanker trailers, they all blow up, man. It's just so awesome.
Now I wondered if people remembered anything funny or unexpected that happened during the movie. You know, like for instance, people came in during the filming of the movie thinking that the cafeteria was still open, but it wasn't open, and we gave them food anyway because they looked like they were hungry and we didn't want to turn them away. Some of those people are even in the movie. So, you know, I just wondered if anybody else remembered funny things or unusual things that happened while we were filming the movie.
No.
No, I mean, it's, you know, it's hard, but you know, Lee Sellers is a distraction just because there was clearly like a thing with us, like a frisson. How do you say that word?
Sure.
But like the and my girlfriend at the time, her name was Kirsten, was there, and Lee and I, you know, whatever. But it didn't. We were professional. So that's, if that counts as unusual, but like otherwise, it's probably not unusual, right? That probably happens all the time. Because they say you're supposed to love your leading actor, and a lot of people say that it's Doris's movie, and as awesome as Frau Bostich was, I always saw it really as TK's movie. To me, that's, you know, that's who I really felt like the most, like, you know, whatever the way people say about Garbo in a movie, or, you know, or Shelley Long, that's you get pulled in, you know, that TK was who it was for me.
I met an incredibly beautiful woman named Candy Jones, who played Dot, who I just fell in love with. Of course, she wouldn't give me the time of day. She thought I was disgusting, as most women do, but that's beside the point. Michael Huey kept swallowing live goldfish. I thought that was a little weird, but he was British. I guess he still is British. Is he still alive?
Oh yes, he's still alive.
Yeah. Fine actor, good American accent. But he was a little crazy about eating live fish. I don't know what that was about. And Angus had this thing about spare tires and doing the hula hoop thing out in the parking lot, which I thought was a little weird.
Well, now, I can't think of anything that unexpected that happened, but I do remember, because I thought it was strange at the time, the way the sound kept messing up. I mean, the girl who was doing the sound, she was such a perfectionist, and really, she would stop for just the slightest sound, and things I couldn't even hear. And there'd be a plane going over, and I could hear that, and I know why she'd stop for that, and, you know, or a car honked their horn outside, and of course we'd have to stop. That just was surprising to me, because I kind of thought they might want to have that kind of sound rolling in the background, because it was very natural, but they didn't want that. And so, to me, it was surprising that we had to go over and over the same scene a lot of times just because of the sound. That was a revelation to me.